she calls me back and she said, sit down. You have a contract with Columbia Pictures.
From teen idol to Hollywood legend, James Darren's life was filled with fame, love, heartbreak, and a haunting silence in the end. James Darren rose to fame as a heartthrob of the 1960s, captivating audiences with his charm and talent. But behind the glitz and glam is an untold story of lost dreams, the joys of fatherhood, and a sorrowful personal loss. As the years passed, the fame slowly faded, leaving behind a trail of memories, unanswered questions, and an unexpected fortune. James Darren.
Support of norms. I've been coming here for decades. It was Googie's, it was Schwab's drugstore, it was Norm's, it was Jay's, which is now going to be torn down, and oddly enough 2 other restaurants are going to be put there, which I don't quite understand. But
before James Darren became a celebrated actor and singer, he lived a modest and determined life rooted in the working-class neighborhoods of Philadelphia. Born James William Ercolani on June 8, 1936, he grew up in a tight-knit Italian-American family in the city's South Philadelphia section. His early environment was not one of glitz and glamour, but one shaped by community, culture, and quiet ambition. From a young age, Darren was drawn to the arts. Though his neighborhood was filled with ordinary routines and blue-collar jobs, Darren felt an inner pull towards something more creative. He was particularly interested in music and film, often spending hours at the local movie theaters. These early experiences planted the seeds of what would later become a lifelong career. He attended South Philadelphia High School, but wasn't particularly focused on academics. What truly excited him was performing. He had a natural charisma and a handsome face, but beyond that, he had the discipline to pursue his goals. Recognizing his interest in acting, Darren moved to New York City in his late teens to pursue his dreams more seriously. This decision marked a turning point in his life. While in New York, he began studying acting under the guidance of Stella Adler, a highly respected teacher known for training some of the biggest names in Hollywood. At the same time, Darren had to support himself with odd jobs while attending acting school. These early struggles shaped his character. He wasn't handed opportunities, he worked for them. His big break came not through an audition, but through a photograph. While visiting a friend in Los Angeles, Darren had professional headshots taken by famed photographer Maurice Seymour. One of these photographs ended up in the hands of Joyce Selznick, a well-connected talent scout and casting agent who happened to be the niece of famed film producer David O. Selznick. Joyce Selznick was impressed not just by Darren's looks, but by the potential she saw behind his eyes. She arranged a meeting for him with Columbia Pictures, where executives were immediately interested. Darren had a screen test and was offered a contract soon after. He signed with Columbia in the mid-1950s and changed his name from James Ercolani to James Darren, a name thought to be more suitable for mainstream American audiences at the time. It was a strategic decision in keeping with the practices of the era, which often encouraged actors to adopt simpler or more marketable names. From there, Darren began appearing in small roles, slowly building a reputation for reliability and charm. But before all the fame and success, it was his bold choice to leave home, study his craft, and persevere through uncertainty that defined his journey. To find out which movie catapulted him onto the big stage, keep watching as we give you all the details. Movies. James Darren's entry into the film industry marked the beginning of a career that would define him as a silver screen heartthrob in the late 1950s and early 1960s. With a natural screen presence, striking looks, and an underlying sincerity in his performances, Darren quickly carved a niche for himself in Hollywood's competitive movie scene. His early years as a film actor not only showcased his talent, but also mirrored the evolution of youth culture in American cinema. His debut film role came in 1956 with Rumble on the Docks, a gritty drama about gang rivalry. Though it was a modest film, it established Darren as a promising young actor with potential. His role as Jimmy Smigelski allowed him to portray a tough yet relatable character, and audiences took notice. His success in that film led to a string of roles that capitalized on his youthful charm. Columbia saw him as a marketable face in the growing teen market and began featuring him in roles that appealed to younger audiences. The turning point came in 1959 with the release of Gidget, a romantic comedy that became a cultural phenomenon. Darren played Moondoggie, the tanned, charming surfer who wins the heart of the title character, played by Sandra Dee. The film was a surprise hit and became a defining movie of its era, establishing the surf and sun genre that would influence many more films to come. Gidget catapulted Darren to stardom. Audiences were drawn not only to his looks, but also to the natural ease with which he played his role. Darren reprised his role in 2 follow-up films, Gidget Goes Hawaiian, 1961, and Gidget Goes to Rome, 1963. Though he appeared briefly in the second sequel, his name remained strongly associated with the franchise. Following his breakout success, Darren took on more varied roles, determined to show he was more than just a teen idol. He played Gene Krupa in The Gene Krupa Story, 1959, in which his performance was praised for its emotional depth and energy, marking a significant moment in his career. He continued to take on dramatic parts in films such as Let No Man Write My Epitaph, 1960, in which he starred alongside Shelley Winters. Darren played Nick Romano Jr., a young man trying to escape the shadow of his criminal past. His performance was considered mature and layered, showing Hollywood that he could handle serious material. In 1961, Darren played a supporting role in The Guns of Navarone. The film was a massive box office success and received several Academy Award nominations. Throughout the early 1960s, he continued to take on diverse roles in films like Diamond Head, 1963, a drama set in Hawaii, and For Those Who Think Young, 1964, a beach party movie that played into his earlier success in youth-oriented films. While some actors might have become complacent, Darren consistently sought ways to grow. He avoided being pigeonholed, always looking for roles that could challenge him. He was part of a generation of actors who helped redefine what it meant to be a leading man in American film. Transition to television. After establishing himself as a successful actor in movies, James Darren made a significant and strategic transition to television. His shift was not only timely, but also effective, helping him maintain a steady career in the changing media landscape. The transition began in earnest during the mid-1960s, when Darren began exploring television guest spots and pilots. Television was becoming the primary source of entertainment for many households, and Darren embraced the new format with professionalism and enthusiasm. One of his earliest notable television roles was in the science fiction series The Time Tunnel, which premiered in 1966 on ABC. The show gave Darren the chance to portray a more intellectual and action-oriented character, a shift from some of the romantic and youthful roles he had played in film. Though the show lasted only 1 season due to production costs and network decisions, it developed a cult following and gave Darren a firm footing in television. After The Time Tunnel, Darren continued to find success on television. One of the most significant milestones in Darren's television career came in the 1980s with his role on the police drama T.J. Hooker. Darren joined the cast as Officer Jim Corrigan, a tough and seasoned cop partnered with younger officers. The camaraderie between cast members and the show's popularity helped Darren establish himself as a dependable figure in network television. He appeared in nearly every episode of the show's later seasons and was recognized for his professionalism and chemistry with fellow cast members. During this time, Darren also made appearances on other notable series, including guest roles in shows such as Love American Style, The Streets of San Francisco, and Fantasy Island. As the film industry became increasingly focused on younger actors and high-budget productions, television offered a space for seasoned performers to continue practicing their craft. Darren took this opportunity seriously, choosing roles that would allow him to grow and contribute meaningfully to each project. Whether leading a series or appearing in a supporting part, Darren brought a level of professionalism that reflected his decades of experience in entertainment. By the end of the 1980s, Darren had firmly established himself as a television veteran. However, he didn't just stop there. Stay with us as we uncover the story of his ventures in singing and acting. Singing and directing. James Darren's career extended far beyond the silver screen, flourishing in two other major creative avenues: music and directing. While many recognized him for his early roles in films and later in television, Darren also established himself as a successful singer and eventually found a new calling behind the camera. Darren's journey as a singer began in the late 1950s, around the same time his film career was gaining momentum. Thanks to his rising fame, Columbia Pictures saw potential in marketing him as a teen idol. The studio's record label, Colpix Records, signed him, and Darren released a series of singles that appealed directly to the youth audience of the time. His soft, melodic voice and charming delivery resonated with fans. One of his biggest hits came in 1961 with the song "Goodbye Cruel World." The track reached #1, 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and sold over 1 million copies. The song's success led to appearances on musical variety shows and further increased his popularity. He followed up with other charting singles, including Her Royal Majesty and Conscience, solidifying his status as a pop sensation. During this time, Darren released several albums such as Love Among the Young and Songs for All Sizes, which featured both pop standards and original tracks. His musical style combined elements of traditional pop with a youthful energy, making his records accessible and widely enjoyed. He toured regularly, performing live for enthusiastic fans and further proving his abilities as a live entertainer. Unlike many actors turned singers, Darren was respected as a legitimate vocalist. Critics often noted that his musical performances were not just a byproduct of his film fame, but genuine artistic efforts that stood on their own. Though his popularity as a pop singer waned with the changing music landscape of the late 1960s and 1970s, Darren never fully left music behind. He would later revisit his singing roots in the 1990s with a swing-style album titled This One's From the Heart, which paid homage to the American songbook. The album was well received and helped reintroduce Darren to a new generation of fans. Parallel to his musical accomplishments, Darren also pursued a career as a director. This chapter of his professional life began in earnest during the late 1970s and 1980s after he had gained substantial experience working in television. Inspired by his time on set and his interactions with directors, Darren decided to step behind the camera to tell stories in a new way. He began directing episodes of various television shows, where his knowledge of acting and pacing translated well into a directorial style that was both efficient and actor-friendly. One of his earliest notable directing credits was for the police drama T.J. Hooker. His dual role as actor and director on the same show demonstrated a deep understanding of storytelling from multiple perspectives. Darren continued to build his directing resume with episodes of hit TV series like Hunter, Beverly Hills 90210, and Melrose Place. His work on these shows was praised for its clarity, emotional rhythm, and smooth visual style. Directing allowed Darren to stay actively involved in television even when he was not appearing on screen. It gave him a renewed sense of purpose and creativity. His contributions as a singer and director demonstrate the full range of Darren's talents. In music, he captured the hearts of listeners with hit songs and compelling performances. In directing, he crafted episodes that entertained millions and contributed to the success of some of the most popular shows of the era. James Darren's ability to reinvent himself while remaining true to his artistic roots stands as a testament to his dedication and passion for performance. Whether it was in front of a camera or offstage in his private life, he proved to stay loyal and dedicated to something once he set his mind to it. Same can be said for his relationship with his family. Let's take a closer look and the love and loss of James Darren. Wife and children.
forgot my lines. I was working opposite Barbara Ruick, and I was holding her, and I looked at her.
While fans admired his talent and good looks on screen, his off-screen life also included two important relationships, both filled with love, challenges, and personal growth. Darren's two marriages shaped his personal journey in deep and lasting ways, including his role as a father to 3 children. James Darren's first marriage was to Gloria Terlitsky, a beautiful woman who was not part of the film industry. The two met in the early 1950s before Darren had become a major star. At the time, he was still chasing his dreams in Hollywood. Gloria was a sweetheart from his hometown of Philadelphia. Their connection was warm and real, built on shared roots and young love. The couple got married in 1955, when Darren was just 19 years old. Their wedding came at a time when he was still working to break into show business. Darren was starting to get small roles, and his career hadn't yet taken off. Despite the pressures of a new career and a young marriage, the couple welcomed a son together, whom they named Jim Moret. Jim later went on to become a well-known journalist and television host, often seen on CNN and other networks. Unfortunately, as Darren's fame started to rise, the strain on the young couple's relationship grew. Darren was traveling more, working long hours, and being pulled into the Hollywood lifestyle. The demands of his rising career made it hard to keep the marriage strong. By 1959, just 4 years after they tied the knot, James and Gloria divorced. It was a painful time, especially with a young child involved. Though the marriage ended, Darren remained active in his son Jim's life. However, Jim took the last name of his stepfather, adopting Moret as his surname. Over the years, Jim Moret has spoken openly about his relationship with his biological father. He once said they had a warm and respectful relationship, even though they didn't always live together. Darren showed continued interest in Jim's life and supported his career choices. After his divorce, James Darren focused on his career. Then, in 1960, a new chapter of love began when he met Evie Norland. Evie was a Danish beauty queen who had been crowned Miss Denmark in 1958. Like many young women of the time, she came to Hollywood with dreams of fame and adventure. She worked briefly as an actress and model, which is how she crossed paths with Darren. Their meeting sparked instant chemistry. Evie's calm nature and natural grace were a perfect balance to Darren's energetic life as a star. After dating for a short while, the couple got married in 1960, the same year Darren's career was peaking. Unlike his first marriage, James Darren's union with Evie would last for decades. The two had a long and seemingly happy marriage that stayed strong even through the ups and downs of fame. James and Evie had 2 sons together, Christian and Anthony. Darren was deeply involved in his children's lives. He often spoke proudly of his family in interviews, and friends described him as a loving father. Even though his career required him to travel and spend time on set, he made sure to stay connected to his family. The family stayed out of the public eye for the most part. Darren preferred to keep his personal life private, and Evie was happy to support him from behind the scenes, rather than seeking fame for herself. James Darren and Evie Norland were married for more than 60 years, a rare accomplishment in the world of Hollywood. Their long marriage stood as a quiet example of love, loyalty, and partnership. While Darren continued working in television and music, Evie focused on raising their children and maintaining their home life. There were no public scandals or dramatic moments between them. Instead, their relationship was marked by stability and mutual respect. They attended events together, supported one another's goals, and created a strong, loving environment for their children. Though much of James Darren's life was lived in front of the camera, his role as a father was deeply personal. His relationship with Jim Moret, his son from his first marriage, was sometimes distant in their early years, but grew stronger with time. Jim has written and spoken about his emotional journey to connect with both his biological father and his stepfather, who helped raise him. With Christian and Anthony, James Darren had a closer day-to-day relationship, as he was more settled in life by the time they were born. Though they chose lives away from the spotlight, Darren remained proud of them and protective of their privacy. Through heartbreak and healing, Darren found his way to a long, meaningful partnership with Evie. and maintained bonds with all three of his sons. His family story, though often kept private, is a quiet and touching part of his legacy. James Darren lived with quiet strength and unwavering resilience. That same determination carried him through his final chapter, even as his health began to fade. Let's delve a little into the final days and challenges surrounding the death of James Darren. Illness and death.
Some breaking news now. Beloved actor James Darren has died at the age of 88, according to Variety.
There's no such thing as the next best thing to love.
James Darren passed away on September 2nd, 2024, at the age of 88. Darren had a career that spanned over 6 decades. He left behind a legacy of talent, charisma, and kindness that will not be forgotten. In his final months, Darren battled serious health issues but remained calm, dignified, and surrounded by the love of his family. James Darren's health struggles began quietly, away from the spotlight he once embraced. In the months leading up to his passing, he was diagnosed with a heart condition, specifically complications related to his aortic valve. The aortic valve plays a vital role in the heart's function, helping pump blood efficiently from the heart to the rest of the body. Over time, Darren's valve became dangerously weak, affecting his overall health and energy levels. Though he had dealt with other mild health issues in the past, this particular diagnosis was far more serious. His medical team at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles advised surgery as the best option for treatment. However, Darren's age and physical condition made surgery too risky. His doctors concluded that he was too weak to survive the procedure. This was a painful realization, both for Darren and for his loved ones, but it was one he accepted with grace. As the news of his condition settled in, Darren chose to focus on quality of life rather than aggressive treatments. Those close to him described him as peaceful and accepting. He was fully aware of the seriousness of his illness, yet he continued to carry himself with strength and calmness. He spent most of his time resting and being with family. Jim Moray spoke lovingly about his father's final days. He confirmed that Darren passed away peacefully in his sleep and that there was no suffering. He was loved deeply, and we had the chance to tell him that before the end, Moray shared in interviews. He heard our voices. He knew we were with him. Throughout his life, James Darren was known not only for his good looks and screen presence, but also for his humble personality. Despite his fame, he remained a down-to-earth man who deeply valued family. In his final days, that love surrounded him fully. Family members recalled soft conversations, shared memories, and quiet moments that brought comfort to everyone in the room. As the news of his passing spread, tributes poured in from fans, fellow actors, and entertainment figures. His death was not just the loss of a celebrity, but the loss of a kind and generous soul who inspired many. Colleagues remembered him as someone who was always respectful, punctual, and generous with his time. He never let fame change who he was. In an industry where egos can be large, James Darren stood out as someone grounded and genuine. Even though the final chapter of Darren's life was marked by illness, it was also filled with love, reflection, and peace. He was able to look back on a long and accomplished life, a life that saw him rise from a working-class neighborhood in Philadelphia to Hollywood stardom, and he did so while maintaining strong relationships, especially with his wife and children. He is survived by his wife, Avi, his sons Jim, Christian, and Anthony, and generations of fans who will always remember him as the cool, charming actor who brought joy to the screen and warmth to every room he entered. Though he has left this world, James Darren's voice, his smile, and his spirit will continue to live on in the hearts of many. James Darren's sense of style and grace has always been reflected in his works and his choice of homes. From classic Hollywood charm to quiet retreats, his residences told their own story. Join us as we give you the full info on the houses James Darren called home. House. At the time of his death, Darren resided in a modest yet elegant home in Beverly Hills, California. This residence, while not widely publicized, was known among close friends and family as a cherished sanctuary where Darren spent his later years. The Beverly Hills home was a reflection of Darren's understated lifestyle. The house, characterized by its classic architecture and serene surroundings, was a testament to his appreciation for timeless elegance. While specific details about the property's purchase date and price remain private, it is evident that Darren valued comfort and privacy over opulence. In addition to his Beverly Hills residence, Darren had invested in other real estate properties over the years. These investments were part of his broader financial strategy, ensuring stability and security for his family. However, detailed information about these properties, including their locations, purchase dates, and current statuses, is not publicly available. Darren was known to be discreet about his personal affairs, and this extended to his real estate holdings. Following his passing, there has been speculation about the future of his properties. Given Darren's close-knit family, it is likely that his estate, including his real estate assets, was passed on to his wife and their children. Whether the properties have been sold, retained, or repurposed remains a private matter for the Darren family. There have been no public records or announcements indicating any sales or transfers of ownership. His homes were not just investments, but spaces filled with memories, love, and a sense of belonging. As fans remember his contributions to film and music, his legacy also lives on in the places he called home, cherished by those who knew him best. From screen success to chart-topping hits, James Darren built a career that wasn't just rich in talent, but also in financial reward. Through decades of work in entertainment, he quietly amassed a fortune that reflected his dedication and versatility. Let's take a closer look at the wealth James Darren earned, spent, and ultimately left behind. Net worth. James Darren left behind an estimated net worth of $9 million at the time of his death. This wealth was not achieved overnight, but was the result of a carefully managed, multifaceted career that spanned over 6 decades and stretched across acting, singing, directing, and even investing. Darren's financial journey reflected his work ethic, versatility, and wise choices both on and off the screen. James Darren began building his fortune in the late 1950s when he first stepped into the Hollywood spotlight. Early not only brought him critical acclaim, but a steady income as well. His most famous song sold over 1 million copies. Besides this, his music career continued, which contributed significantly to his growing fortune. His role in a few TV shows allowed him to earn more. He experienced a resurgence in popularity, resulting in more income and renewed fan appreciation. Directing episodes for shows like Melrose Place, Beverly Hills, 90210, and Hunter brought him consistent income at a time when many actors from his era were quietly retiring. His ability to stay relevant in a rapidly changing industry was both a creative and financial win. In addition to his entertainment work, Darren also made investments in real estate, which added to his wealth. He was known to have properties in Los Angeles and New York, as well as smaller holdings in other locations. While not flashy or ostentatious, these properties were well maintained and rose in value over time. According to reports, his real estate investments contributed significantly to his final net worth. Despite his wealth, James Darren was not known for extravagant spending. He wasn't often seen at flashy events or driving luxury cars. Instead, Darren enjoyed investing in art, vintage musical equipment, and occasional travel with his family. He also donated discreetly to children's education charities and programs supporting performing arts in schools, though he never sought public attention for these efforts. At the time of his death, Darren's estate was estimated at around $9 million, which included liquid assets, royalties from past performances, music rights, and real estate holdings. His estate planning appeared to be well organized. It is believed that his assets were inherited primarily by his wife Evie and his 3 sons. Darren's family was also expected to continue receiving residuals and royalty payments from his music and television work. His recurring role on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in particular, remained popular among fans and streaming audiences, providing ongoing financial benefits to his estate. Unlike many stars who struggled with finances later in life, James Darren's steady, varied career, smart investment strategies, and grounded lifestyle ensured that he remained financially stable throughout his life. His fortune wasn't built on risky ventures or celebrity branding, but rather on consistent work and intelligent planning. Impact. James Darren's impact on popular culture is a story of versatility, quiet perseverance, and timeless charm. From his breakout role in teen surf films to his revival in science fiction, Darren proved his ability to adapt and influence across decades. While Gidget made him famous, Darren avoided being typecast. His talent and good looks led him to diverse roles in films where he showcased his dramatic range. In an era where many teen idols faded quickly, Darren proved he had staying power, evolving with the industry rather than being left behind by it. What truly made Darren stand out was his ability to stay relevant without chasing fame. He didn't reinvent himself with controversy or publicity stunts. Instead, he relied on hard work, professionalism, and genuine talent. His humility and dedication earned him the respect of colleagues and a loyal fan base that remained with him for decades. His influence helped pave the way for other multi-talented entertainers. At a time when most stars were locked into one role, actor or singer or director, Darren proved that it was possible to do all three well. He set an example for younger performers who wanted to explore more than one creative path, showing that careers could be long and full of variety if driven by passion and discipline. Even after his passing in 2024, Darren's work continues to be celebrated through streaming platforms, retro radio stations, fan conventions, and tribute performances. His movies are still watched, his songs still played, and his legacy still remembered fondly by those who grew up with him and those discovering him for the first time. His career mirrors the journey of entertainment itself, starting in black and white film, moving into color television, and ending in the digital age of streaming and fandom. He adapted gracefully to each new era, always leaving his mark. He may not have been the loudest celebrity in the room, but Darren didn't need to be. His legacy was built on quality, not noise, on authenticity, rather than headlines. Long after his final performance, his name still carries weight. Darren's impact quietly shaped the landscape of American entertainment and continues to inspire those who value creativity, grace, and timeless talent. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and share this video. If you liked our video and want to see more, subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated on all the latest news.